Many of you guys are going through the days and the weeks and you're really building. Some of you are really building. Most of you are finding yourselves getting a lot of stuff done, but not the really important things. Not the things that are significant enough that are going to move the needle. You're stressed, you're overwhelmed, things pile up. At the end of the days and the weeks, you know you did a lot, but you don't feel like you're moving forward in the way that you should be. Not much has changed. Getting a lot of stuff done, you're exhausted, and then you look at the bank account. When you go to pay your bills, you look at the extra that you have when you're thinking about doing that trip or planning that vacation or doing an event with your friends. Maybe it's your self-development that you want to invest in, but you're scared to because the finances aren't coming in. You're not moving forward in the career. You're getting auditions, but you're not getting the callbacks or the bookings. Number one, you're going to learn yourself, how to think, respond, where you hesitate, where you break your own standards. Because if you don't understand that, no strategy you learn here will ever work consistently. The key is consistently. It may work, but it won't work consistently. Number two, you're going to define and lock in your standards, what you expect for yourself, what you tolerate, who you choose to model, what you're no longer willing to compromise on, because your standards, that's what determines your results, not your intentions. That's it. Learn yourself, set your standards. Everything we do today sits on top of that. Most people walk into a training like this and they're thinking they're here to learn systems and strategies and frameworks, and yes, you're going to learn all that. But that's not why this works, because strategy alone is never the constraint. You are. You know, many people, they come here, they already have the blueprint. They know what they want, they know how to get it, they've got the strategy, they just can't get themselves to do it. Two people can be given the exact same plan, the same system. One executes, the other stalls, hesitates, overthinks, or quits. Why? Because it's not a strategy problem. Execution is not a strategy problem. It's a self-regulation problem. The neuroscience behind that, very simple. Your brain is wired for efficiency and not protection, not growth. You know, the amygdala scans for discomfort and risk. The prefrontal cortex, it handles discipline and decisions. Your dopamine system drives action, but only when it's trained through execution. So when something feels uncomfortable, unfamiliar, or threatens your identity, you resist. Your brain's trying to keep you safe. Not because the strategy doesn't work, but because you haven't trained yourself to operate at that level yet. And if you guys haven't gotten on board with all of the trending videos and posts when it comes to neuroscience and neuroplasticity, then you should do a little research. Talk to Gemini, ChatGPT, because it's super interesting and you will learn yourself and your patterns better. The strategy is not the secret. You're the variable. There needs to be a self-awareness shift. You're going to get the frameworks, the systems, the actions, all of that here. But the real work is learning yourself. What stops you? What excuses you default to? What environments weaken you? What triggers you to delay or to shut down? Once you start seeing those things, then you can start identifying the keys. And the keys, they're different for everybody. Some of you guys just need some structure, and then you're good. Some need accountability. Some need pressure. You thrive under pressure. Some just need more clarity, and then you can take off. Some need higher emotional standards. This is neuroplasticity. You are rewiring your brain through repeated behavior. And it only happens one way: execution under tension. You know what I say in XMA action, right? Be put under pressure so you can step it up and perform. That's the goal. We do that every single day in class. Not by learning alone, not by watching, not by planning or strategizing, by actually doing. doing the things that you need to do. You need to ask, who do I need to become to execute on this? All of this. Because if you don't change your identity, the operator, who you are, the system doesn't matter. You might think you're needing some systems, some solutions, but really you're here to learn more about you, because life doesn't change until you change. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have to change. You're all built differently. We all have different triggers, habits, limits, which means the strategy is not the secret. The strategy is the simple part. You are. Before you can execute anything, you need to become sensitized to yourself. Because if you're numb to it, oh, that's not big of a deal, that doesn't matter so much, then you will become cold to your own behavior and you'll fall short of your standards when it doesn't even bother you anymore. That's the problem. Something's going wrong. You're violating your own standards, but you don't have a problem with it. It doesn't bother you that much. That's the problem. If it doesn't bother you, when will it? So you need to decide, is today the day that you're going to change these things? Establish who you are, who you want to be, and what those standards are that you're not going to break, that are going to become non-negotiable. When I started developing myself again after I just completely lost myself and then woke up, after my wife shook me and woke me up, then it wasn't a question of how to do this. It was more of a question of who. Who is already living the life that I want, that I need to step into? Then I had to get really clear. Well, what is it that I wanted? Well, I was having major health issues. My body broke down. I wanted to be healthy, in the best shape of my life. I wanted to be not just the best husband, but I needed to be present where my feet are, not everywhere else. I wanted to be the best father, connected, great relationship with my boys. I wanted to have the financial success and security so I could put a financial fence around myself and my family. Okay? And whatever you believe in, my spiritual side, I needed to get reconnected to myself and what I believe in when it comes to God, the universe, energy, and just really align that for myself. I wasn't the deadbeat dad. I wasn't the worst person or husband or, business person, but I certainly wasn't the man that I knew I could be. And there was a massive gap that I needed to close. And my goal was to do that by the time I turned 50. I found someone living at that level that I wanted to be. And this person checked all the boxes. Huge business, successful, helping other people, great husband, great father, elite level physique and health, unwavering conviction, close to God, all of these things, right? Now, my friends don't have to be that, but my mentor, and you got to make this decision for yourself. Your mentor, who does that person need to be? My mentor needs to check all these boxes. Non-negotiable for me. These are my standards that I wanted to live by, that I needed to have someone to look up to. People think that they need to be loyal to other people. You don't. I did that. It ruined me. Other people ruined me because of my loyalty to them. You want to be loyal to their standards. Don't respect someone because of who they are necessarily. Respect them because of how they live. We all make mistakes. I'll be the first to admit I made many mistakes and I'm going to make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I'm going to rise to my standards and I'm going to keep living by those standards. Because, a lot of people come and go. There's a trust recession, social media. People don't know who to trust. The moment you even smell something funny coming from me, I do something that is not aligned with my standards. If I break one of my own rules, that's called lying. You guys just run. Just run. You need to go find someone else. I am no longer living at that level. So if you want to have someone that is going to mentor you and help guide you, that person needs to be at the highest level. And this is why people jump. When the person that you look up to, it could be a friend, it could be your father, it could be another coach, when that person loses their standards, you need to be willing to disconnect, even if that person is me. I didn't always think like this. I used to be loyal to many people in my business, and they dragged me down. And because I continued to be loyal, I didn't want to let them go or replace them. And I didn't even want to try and help them in the way that I knew that I could, because I didn't want to interfere. I was just being loyal and supportive. I went bankrupt. So here's what I want you to think. When you have standards, what level of standards do you want to live by? What should they be? You need to get those standards to the place where you feel comfortable and you know that this is the level that you want to live at. And then see if you can raise them. Once you raise them, you lock them in. Once they're set, don't move them. I want to tell you a story about what happened when I was younger. I had a very specific standard when I was competing, and it was the highest level standard I could even think about. I go and I work on my first TV show. I show up the first night, they invite me out to a bar. I'm not 21, they got me in. All of the cast. I go. Everybody's drinking, right? But I have my standard. Okay? That's not what I'm doing. So it's okay, they offer, they're trying, come on, just have a drink with us, whatever. Very, very difficult. These were idols to me. I was the kid coming up in the adult division. These are all the adults. They're all having fun. And I had my standard. So even though I looked up to these people, I had to disconnect from their behavior because they were not living at the standard. So I had to disconnect. And I had to do this over and over and over. You have to know who you are, what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do. What are you going to say no to? How you're going to respond to things. Where do you hesitate? Where do you break your own standards? Otherwise, the strategies, they don't work. You will compromise. You will sabotage yourself. When you define your standards and you know exactly what to expect from yourself, what you will and will not tolerate, who you choose as your role model, your coach, your mentor, and what you're no longer willing to compromise on, what those non-negotiables are, that will determine who you are and the results that you can achieve. Learn yourself, set your standards. That's it. Everything else goes above on top of that. Change those things that we need to change, or even just one thing, and just say no more, never again. Keep it simple. And then you got to stick to it. Use other people to help you for accountability. Create the boundaries. Don't break them. Don't lie to yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Don't be a traitor to yourself. The language may sound harsh or crazy or extreme when I say things like never again, over my dead body. But I say that because I don't want to go back. I don't want to fall behind. I don't want to go back on my commitment to myself. I don't want to break one of my non-negotiables. I don't want to do it. That scares the shit out of me because the person I was before is not the person that I need to be. That person got comfortable. That person bought into all the hype of celebrity and status and, I'm better than other people in certain ways. No, we're all the same. Same emotions, same on the inside. It's what we do with all of that. But that attitude that I had before, and then not using my gift, my platform, the incredible opportunity that I had to help a lot of people, I knew I was put on this earth a long time ago to help people. And then I was given this massive opportunity, and I decided I was just going to do it one-on-one. Yeah, so in like 20 years, yeah, I helped a lot of people, not millions. Terrible. Like, what a waste. So you've got a ton of life, a ton of opportunity, right? This is it. You have an opportunity right now to change it. Those are the two things that I wanted to deliver. If you want to be extreme, then you say, today's the day. From this day forward, you start using that language. I will never. I will always. These are my non-negotiables. In that sense, it's okay to be extreme because you're choosing what it is that you want to fight for. Instead of fighting all that bullshit noise that's surrounding us all the time, other people, other problems, things that are not important. Fight for something worthwhile. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. Now it's go time.